Hi guys, so I wanted to introduce to you / the channel probably one of my more favorite saws. It's really unique in terms of Still's lineup, and it's the 07. Still brought this saw out in 1958 and they ceased production just a couple of years later, or 2 or 3 years later. So it was really short-lived, and I absolutely love it. It's unique. Nothing else fits this saw. It's very much a saw unto itself, I suppose, is a way of putting it. But I'll just flip you around. But here it is. Let's flip you around and give you a better angle of it, and I'll talk you through it as well. So here we go. We'll put the choke on. Throttle locks on. Just start. Hasn't been started in probably nearly a year. Because the choke wasn't fully on. What's going on here? Choke on. It just needs to pull fuel up. That's on, that's on. Normally it starts very, very easily. I wouldn't have thought we'd have lost spark. Maybe it's just pulling fuel through. Let's have a look. Try again a couple more times. Here quick. This is what it would have sounded like in the 50s in the forest. It's such a unique sound. Really long stroke in these older saws. It's got a really nice low hum. Let's see what the RPM is. Switch works flawlessly. All right, let's do a restart. What an amazing piece of history. And once it's got fuel in the carb, starts and runs flawlessly. no bog off idle. What you'll have noticed is how low it dropped after. This has an air vane governor, so as you can adjust it, and essentially if you pull the throttle, the flywheel spins, it lifts up a flap, that flap closes the choke, gives it more fuel, and what that does is essentially ensures that you're not going to overspeed the engine. And that's why when it dropped down, after wide open throttle, why it dropped down so low, because there's so much fuel in the crankcase, it's not being used up. It needs to be put in the wood, crankcase needs to be cleaned out of the fuel, and then you wouldn't have that such a drastic drop. So I've just got back inside, put it up there, give it a bit of a brush off. I tapped my finger onto the chain, I cut it. But anyway, it's irrelevant. Just out of interest, I pulled the muffler off because I just wanted to see what the piston looked like. Now, I've done the full rebuild, so it should be absolutely fine, but used it a couple of times and I thought, heck, let's show you what it looks like. It's remarkable. I've just cut myself again on the chain. Not a really nice oil filter. I mean, it's not surprising with the amount of fuel that would have been going in there. Let's see if I can zoom you in. Here we go. Piston is spotless. And that's right at the very top. Again, for what it is, you're so zoomed in, for what it is, you know, a couple of tiny little marks, a little bit of carbon, slight bit of carbon. Let's see if we can get you a shot of the crown of the piston. So there's a shot of the piston at bottom dead center through the exhaust port. And you can see it's, you know, where it basically, I cleaned it all up really nicely when I did the rebuild. I don't know how clear that is. Hopefully that's clear for you. Yes. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. It's always fun to listen to these old saws. I mean, there's such a different note. As I said earlier, they've got such a long stroke. And so it just gives a really throaty sound, and that long treble just is very unique to back in the kind of 50s, 60s, 70s. It slowly started to change. Modern stroke is so short now, so they've got very little torque, but they've got very high RPMs. So just a product of its time, and yeah, let's see if I can get you a bit more light. There you go, it's a better angle, isn't it? So there you go. Beautiful stuff.